Ostara, or Easter she was known to the Saxons, is the goddess of springtime, and her rites at Easter are one of the oldest of our faith. In the dawn of the age of man, when the tribes were newly formed and taking their first halting steps upon the earth, they would watch Ostara's return with every springtime, and where she walked, the land would wake to golden life behind her. Green shoots would rise up through the frozen earth and greet the returning son of Suna. Her companion bird, a graceful white bird, would sing a song so sweet it would call the birds from the far south to return to their northern homes, and with their return would come the warm spring winds that stirred the hearts of young men and women. The tribes of man were thankful to Ostara, and wished to give thanks to her in a way that was pleasing to her, and for this they watched the rabbits. They knew that Ostara could not stand the touch of the snows the frost giants of Ymir's get. So she slept the whole winter long. In spring, when the snows retreated, the rabbits would dance. Their joyous dance of love would wake Ostara, and she would return to the land. Year upon year, Ostara woke to the dancing of the rabbits. Year upon year, her graceful companion bird would watch the dancing rabbits and hunger to join in the dance. In a year known in song only as the Year of the Rabbit came the great change. In that year was grown a heroic rabbit, a rabbit so strong he defied foxes, so swift he outran the swooping falcon. His eye was taken with the gentle bird of Ostara. She drew his heart as no she-rabbit could. Come the spring in the year of change, he danced for her. He danced with all the fire that Freya gives lovers, and all the rage that Odin gives the doomed. It was a dance of dances, from a champion fired by a love that could not be, and it cast a spell more powerful than any Spey-witch's rune. While Ostara laughed to see the mighty rabbits dance, her companion did not. Her eye was fixed upon that rabbit. Her eye was fixed, and her heart beat fast. Caught she was by the spell of his love. Soon her head began to bob, her feet began to move, and soon she was dancing beside him with wild abandon. No longer smiling, Ostara watched her companion dance with her furred lord. It was clear her bird had lost its heart to this rabbit prince. Striding forward into the circle, Ostara halted the dancers with a glance. The rabbits trembled before her, but the champion stood forth fearless in his love, the white bird close to his side. Ostara smiled softly, and the bird bowed deeply and sang a song of love for her companion of many centuries, and a song, too, filled with the love of a woman for a man. A love that would trade eternity for fulfillment. Ostara heard that song, and her heart was moved. She knelt and kissed her companion one last time upon her feathered head, and when Ostara rose, no longer was a bird standing there, but a shining white rabbit in a pile of white feathers. Her companion and her new prince bounced away with the rabbits to start their new life, and Ostara walked once more her measure upon the earth. But the next spring, when the snows retreated, the land did not wake. Although the rabbits danced, Ostara's return did not bring new life, for her heart was heavy with sadness. She walked the earth, but did not wake behind her. The tribes of man grew fearful. They turned to the Spey-witches, to the wise men and shaman. They asked them, "Why is Ostara sad? How can we please her and make her happy again?" The Spey-witches and shamans spoke with one voice. Watch the rabbits. Seek what they know. The finest hunters from every tribe were sent forth, not to hunt the rabbits, but to watch them. And indeed what they saw was most marvelous. Ostara returned to the rabbits to whom she had lost her companion, and they danced. A mighty and joyous dance they danced. Ostara strode sadly to their circle. Finally, the dancing bunny's circle parted, and she saw the strangest sight. In a nest made of shining white feathers stood an egg, a rocking egg, rocking as if something inside was fighting fiercely to come out. Beside the egg stood her white-furred companion and her mighty lord. They nodded to Ostara that she should come forward. She took the egg in her hands and raised it up, and as she did, the rocking grew fiercer. The egg gave a mighty crack, and with a fierce cheep, it burst open. Inside was a white rabbit, a white-furred he-bunny with shining eyes, who looked up at Ostara with wonder and love. Ostara laughed and kissed the bunny upon its little nose. With a laugh she turned and twirled, and as she spun, the land awoke around her in fierce life. Green shoots bursting from the ground, the field heavy already with shoots. And as she laughed, the trees burst open with blossom, and the wind grew heavy with the smell of flowers. As she laughed again, birdsong was heard from the south, as the birds were called by the sound of laughter to return home. The hunters brought back this news. Ostara, the goddess, could be pleased not just with dance, but she was most pleased by the offering of eggs. They spoke, too, of her companion, Ostara's bunny, or as the Saxons would say, Easter, and her Easter bunny. And down through the long centuries, when spring returns, we remember Easter and her Easter bunny with the offering of eggs. There are more tales to tell of Ostara's bunny, but those are tales for another day.